Hey y'all, this is Retha.
Hey, this is Deandra, and you are now listening to.
Coffee Heals and Conversation podcast.
So grab your coffee and listen in.
Hey y'all, hey, how y'all
Hi,
be?
what's up?
What is up? Welcome back to another episode of the pod. We are so happy that you are here with us again.
Yes.
Thank y'all for being here. Before we get into the episode, we are going to get into the church announcements, which is what are we drinking? Rita, what are you drinking today?
So I am drinking the Javalia coffee, and I
Mhm.
just decided to go back to my roots. So had just have regular creamer,
Okay.
and I actually have sugar in my coffee. I do not
Wow.
drink. I haven't drank sugar in my coffee in a long time. I was like, let me go way back in time. I thought it necessary to add more sugar on top of the creamer.
Okay. Is it good though?
It's good.
Okay. I got a new creation. It's not really new. I'm lying. I just put it in a different cup, but it's my iced coffee, cinnamon. No, I actually do. I tried the creamy hazelnut today, and that's really good.
Mhm.
So and I just put it in with some ice and regular creamer because again, I have not gone to the store to get oatmeal creamer. So we are slacking. Here we are.
Yep.
But that's what we're drinking. So anywho, let's get right into the episode. So,
Yeah.
this episode, we are talking about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. So,
Mhm.
what has brought this topic on this week was
Do
I,
tell.
what you said?
I said, do tell.
You're so funny. Um, I decided to treat myself to breakfast a random morning, and I used to go out to eat by myself quite a lot. But with COVID and everything, you end up stop doing stuff like that.
Mhm.
So anyway, went out and this like particular restaurant is super like crowded, so you have to either do a wait list or like check in when you with the host or whatever. So I checked in when I got there. Like I did an online wait list. It was like a 15-minute, 30-minute wait. So I'm thinking like maybe not because I'm a party of one, but
Mhm.
it was still like I think I ended up waiting at least 30 minutes. Well, 20, maybe
Oh
25,
wow.
30.
Good
Anyway,
deal.
but get in and the waitress walks me to the middle of the restaurant.
Dang,
And it's
bruh.
not a huge restaurant, but it's one of those small, intimate restaurants where the middle is the middle. Like, there's not
Mhm.
no misconstruing. It's the middle.
It's the
At a
middle.
4-person table, and it was just me. And I immediately wanted to leave. I was like, how dare you? This is so rude. Now, in her defense, or in the restaurant's defense, it was absolutely crowded. And there was one more table available, but it was literally right next to me. So it really wasn't
Yeah, it's
no
like
point in
you would
being
have been
like,
in the middle either way.
right, either way. It wasn't a point, but like, can I move for what? Like, and then I was like, oh, I could see that there's a seat outside, but knowing that I don't like bugs, I don't like being that hot while I'm eating, I decided to just sit. And I immediately posted on Instagram when I was like, I want to leave. I was like, this is the
Get me out
dumbest
of here.
thing. Right. I was like, you know what? Actually, no. So then what for me, what made it a little bit more awkward was like, I'm sitting there and I had brought a book because my plan was to sit in a corner, read my book, enjoy a breakfast or whatever. Now I'm in the
Mhm.
middle trying to read this book. And I guess one of the managers came to me because I was sitting there for a minute and like nobody came up and took my order, nothing like that. So the manager was like, hey, good morning. Did anybody greet you? Did anybody take your order? And I was like, no. And he's like, all right. And he like immediately got somebody, took my order or whatever. But I was like, this is so much. Like, I really would like to leave. But anyway, I stuck it out and I sat there and I read the book. I ate the breakfast. I looked around a little bit. Wasn't like, because everybody could see you looking at them. So I wasn't trying to be in nobody's face, but just like, look around, try to enjoy the ambience. The breakfast was amazing. It was very good. But I still, the whole time was like, all right, when I was ready to go, I was like, where's the waitress? I am ready to actually leave now. Like for real, please hurry up, man. Where are you? But I was proud of myself for staying because I usually don't get that uncomfortable where I want to leave. But like that day, I was like, I gotta go. Like this is
Yeah.
awkward. Why am I still sitting here? And then it's like nobody was there alone. I was the only person in the entire restaurant eating by themselves. So that was like, it made it more like, is she
Like
okay?
it amplified it. Yeah.
Right. I said, she all right? She's by herself. So anyway, I thought, and then Aretha messaged me. I didn't see it while I was in there, but she messaged me and was like, stay, don't leave. And I was like, oh my God. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, she's right. I'm happy I stayed. But yeah, so that's what made us I want to talk about, like, Rita, have you ever been in that situation where you have to, like, you force yourself to be uncomfortable even though you want to run and hide?
Oh yes, for sure. I honestly now make it a habit to do things that make me uncomfortable. But especially in that kind of situation, yes, it's so interesting because there's times where I'm like, I'm cool, but there's
Mhm.
times where I'm just like, I just want to go home.
Right.
So one of the times that came to my mind is it was like not this year, but the last year, I think 2022. Yeah, so it's like my birthday week, and I like took, me, I take time off of work,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it was like it was like either like the Friday or Saturday or something, one of them days. And I wanted to go to this particular spot. But the only location I knew about was like a couple cities away from me. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, we have one in my city. I was like, oh, I should go. And I was like, immediately like, you know what? I don't know if I should go here by
Mhm.
myself. Because it was like kind of like dinner time. And I was just like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But I made myself go.
Mhm.
I made myself go and have dinner by myself, whatever. I sat there and I like was on my phone or just like looking around because it was like they sat me outside. So
Mhm.
I was like watching people and like just eating my food and like, drinking my little liquor and stuff. And like, I and at the end of it, I was glad that I made myself just go because I was
Mhm.
literally I was just having a moment of, like, insecurity, and I was like, "You know what? I don't think I should go." And it's like, "No." So I was glad that I went.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I was super, like, uncomfortable because of course, there's people around, and you're, like, watching different people, and you're looking around, you're, like, the only you think somebody else was by themselves, and then, like, "Oh, no, their friend came."
Right.
I I'm by myself,
Right.
um, or whatever, but I definitely, like yeah, I definitely that was, like, last year because 'cause I'm like, I've been doing this for a while, but, like, there are times where I'm like, "I don't know if I should today," and it's like, "No, do it."
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I definitely have had those moments of, like, I try to make it a point now, and it's so funny when I was thinking about us talking about this, I used to have this whole thing when I lived with this is when I lived with my parents. I
Mhm.
had this whole thing where I would, like, once a week take myself out to dinner and try different places. It's like, what happened to that? And I think it's like in my
Right.
mind, I'm like, "Go by yourself anyway," but it's like still the actual like act of like taking myself out
Right.
by myself. Especially like because it's like for me, sometimes it feels easier for breakfast, but when it's dinner, it's like it's a
Mhm.
little so
Yeah. All right, so I found an article. This is from Very Well Mind. It is I think they're like a therapy kind of website. But they have an article on how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So the first thing
mhm,
that they say is embracing discomfort won't be easy, but it's necessary if you want to experience personal growth. The first step to recognizing the things that make you uncomfortable, the first step is recognizing the things that make you uncomfortable and knowing how they make you feel. This will enable you to identify what type of experience to seek out. Knowing the unique triggers that make you uncomfortable and facing those challenges instead of turning away from them is the best way to learn and grow. So, in regards to sitting at the restaurant, I don't really know if I have really like grown from it. Like it literally just happened, so I can't say that I really grown from it. But I do feel like it did give me a little bit more confidence in like
mm,
the next time I decide to go out to eat, and that if that happens again, it's like a bigger restaurant, I might still be a
mhm,
little nervous, but I'll be like, all right, but you did it before, you can do it
yeah,
again. Like you can sit through it
mhm,
or whatever. And then also, it did teach me how to like just go with the flow because usually I do go ahead and like request to sit in a booth or request to sit in a corner. And this time I didn't. I was like, oh, just like, whatever seat, it's fine. And it really wasn't fine, but I allowed to myself. and I ended up in the middle of the restaurant, which I was not expecting. So they give a few ways of how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So the first thing is to try a new food or a new activity. And it says be open-minded and flexible. This broadens your horizons and exposes you to new experiences that can be beneficial. So what is something new that you have tried as of late?
It's so funny because I literally these articles be like on track with like what I'm trying to do in my life. So this is gonna people are gonna be like, really, Doretha, but I haven't. So like I'm only okay. So my thing is like with trying a new food, right? So
Mhm.
I try all kinds of different stuff or whatever. But like when I go to certain places, I typically like get the same stuff. So I was just like, you know what,
Yeah.
Doretha? Like I had never had a poached egg. I had never had eggs
Me
Benedict.
neither.
So I was like, so I went to this place one time and I was like, no, you're gonna have eggs Benedict today.
Okay.
You're because I usually get like scrambled,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, you're gonna try eggs a different way. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. And it's good. Girl, I love me. Give me a good crab Benedict here. Like, and even like this restaurant, like I go to kind of often, it's like try different things. Don't just get the same like stuff.
Yeah.
And I also have been trying new experiences. So like I did my first 5K this year. I didn't run.
Yay.
It was a walk, but I did my first 5K ever.
Right. That's the point.
And yes. And that was when was that? In May, I think?
I think
April or
so.
May.
I think it was May.
Yeah. And then in June, I did the Relay for Life. And so
Yay.
it's like just doing different things. I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
I like doing active things anyways. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, so I feel like I've been in that like of like trying different things and going
Mhm.
different places and like just to kind of like force myself to like get out of my comfort zone and not like just either not only go to the same places but like try
Yeah.
other places, you know, and
Yeah.
just do things. Don't just always be like, oh, I can't do that. No, try.
Right. So one of the other ones is get comfortable with discomfort in social settings. I think that goes hand in hand with like the restaurant thing. Like that was a social setting and I was very uncomfortable and I wanted to scream. Um I think
Hmm.
what also helped was that the waitress was very nice. Like it was a genuine nice. Like, hey, how are you? Like it wasn't like I'm just being nice, so this is my job. So that kind of helped. But then once she disappeared, I was like, ma'am, I this has to be a joke. Where the heck are you? Like, please come back. I need my check. But yeah, where are you uncomfortable in social settings, if at all?
um, I'm uncomfortable in like new situations sometimes.
Hmm.
Like if it's a place I haven't been or if I'm around people that I like don't really know,
Hmm.
that's when I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, so like I tend to cling to like if there's people that I do know, I tend to kind of like cling to
Right.
them in some way. Because I'm introverted and I don't like small talk. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about the sun. I don't want to talk about I like deep conversation
Right.
off top. So it's just like,
I'm about to say, but how do you work into that deep conversation if you don't like small talk?
well, that's the thing. I don't like small talk. Like I prefer it to be like, of course you're gonna greet somebody, but I prefer like not just to have a conversation about the stupid weather. Like I'm sorry.
Mhm.
But like, like, oh, there are certain questions that can lead to deeper conversations.
Mhm.
Certain questions that may be considered small talk that can lead to a different conversation, like a deeper conversation.
Mhm.
But I just don't want to spend 15 minutes talking about the weather and how like hot it is, and how cold it is, and how it's raining. And da, da, da. It's like I'd rather be like, well, how did the rain affect you?
Okay.
Like I'm like that kind of like I'm like Melissa. I like deep conversation. So like I'll do small talk because I know that's a part of like dealing with people, but I don't like it.
Mhm.
It's not that I don't do it. I do it because it's just like a thing. But I
Mhm.
like when I can get like a deep conversation going, or if someone starts one, then it's like, okay, cool, this is cool, whatever. But I've gotten more comfortable, but like I said, I still have my moments where I'm like, "I don't know anybody, I'm a little nervous."
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
takes me a little bit to warm up sometimes, but once I get warm, I'm warm, okay?
Right. No, I feel that. I think my last, besides the restaurant, I did go visit a different church by myself like a couple of Sundays ago. Just because I had seen it and I was like, oh, it seems like a nice church. Like, I'm not trying to leave my church. I just wanted to visit another church.
Mm,
And I was by myself and I was like, maybe I should leave. Um, but it was a very nice experience. I would definitely go back and visit again. But that was one moment where I was like nervous because I was like, why are you even going to this church? Like, I'm gonna need you to go have a seat. But it was a nice experience and I would definitely go back. But I was definitely like, you don't know, not I knew not a
not
soul
one person, yeah.
in this church.
That can be not nerve-wracking, especially church, because like, especially for me, but yeah, with going to, like, a new church it's super nerve-wracking. I remember when I kind of was in transition between, like, the church I grew up in, to the church that I go to that I am a member at now.
Hmm.
I remember I visited like, I would go with my friends to visit different churches, like, I was, like, visiting. But this one time I went to this church that's actually not too far from me now where I live now,
Hmm.
and I had gone there with a friend one time, and then I went back because so I had been there for an event with some friends, then I had gone with one of my friends, and then this one time I decided to just go by myself.
Hmm.
It was very nerve-wracking for me, but it was like but I also was just like, "Okay," like, at the end of it, it felt good.
Yeah.
And I think I went back another time. I keep talking about I wanna go back because one of my friends goes there, but he goes to, like, a later service than what I was attending.
Hmm.
And then my other friend that was a member there, she, like, moved to Southern California, so I was like, "Girl," but it is kinda nerve-wracking when you, like, walk into especially if it's a big church, you're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
Yeah. This
people."
church was huge, and I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
like
Yeah.
but no, because even with going I think, like, the church that I'm a member of now it's kind of comforting because like, one of my close friends goes there too.
Hmm.
So, like, okay, we have each other kinda thing.
Yeah.
But, on the Sunday she ain't there, it's just me with the people. But,
Me with the people.
um, I'm definitely a lot more comfortable now, but, like, first going there was just like, "This is very different than my church,"
Yeah.
and stuff, but yeah.
The last thing is to make a list of 5 activities. So make a list of 5 things that you really like to do that makes you uncomfortable. Make a promise to yourself to slowly go through your list and complete the task. I feel like every time I find an article, it's something about making a list. And I don't know if that's just like a sign to me that I need to make lists because what the heck. But I think that's cool because I don't think that I don't really I know for me, I don't always think about what makes me uncomfortable until I'm in
Mhm.
it. Like I didn't think about
Yeah.
when I planned on going to the restaurant, I didn't think it was gonna make me uncomfortable because I was like, I'm gonna be in a corner seat and whatever. Like, so I don't think you really think about it and I didn't think about it making me uncomfortable. I just thought about just going. So I think,
Mhm.
but if you put a perspective like this might make me uncomfortable, but I still want to do it, it definitely kind of like encourages you and give you something to like look forward to later on. When you like decide to do it. And I think it's smart to just go through it slowly. Don't rush it. Just do it slowly.
That's because I think it is hard when you kinda, like, push yourself too
Yeah.
much, like I be talking about my little things. Um, but I think too, it's like because so one of the things I do kind of often, I guess, is I'll go to museums by myself,
Yeah.
and
I want to do
I
that.
think I still there's still this part of me that sometimes gets uncomfortable with it,
Hmm.
that still gets like, "Oh," like 'cause like, what'll happen is, like, if I'm in a certain mood, I'll talk myself out of it sometimes,
Hmm.
and so it's like I have to be like, "No, we're gonna go." Just like
Right.
I did with the restaurant, I just have to sometimes be like, "No, we're gonna go," 'cause it's
Mm.
crazy when you go to a place like that when you were not in a good space, ooh child, but it's almost like I feel like I'm doing that, like, I feel like unknowingly,
Mhm.
I'm already doing what the article is saying. Like, I don't have a list or
Yeah.
anything like that, but I'm trying new different foods, not just eggs, guys, but trying new foods. Um, doing these different active things and even investing in other relationships too. Like,
Mhm.
so that's a thing too. Like, okay, let me hang out with this person. Let me go here with this person. So it's just like that's even a thing sometimes because it's like, especially when you feel like you get on that no new friends tip,
Right, yeah. I
and then
feel
it's
that.
like this person's like, oh, let's hang out, and you're like, okay, So it's
Mhm.
just even that. So I'm investing in other in new friendships, new friendships. I'm like, I need to get back to it's making me like I said earlier, it's making me think that I need to get back to, like, taking myself out to dinner once a week or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not just weekend or whatever, but just, like, on a random Wednesday after working out, go gra you know? So it's just,
Mhm.
like, doing that kinda thing and, like, not always waiting for other people to be around, but just like, "Girl, you wanna go to that museum? Just go."
Right, yeah.
And I have seen some amazing exhibits doing that, so, yeah, I feel like in a way, it's kinda how I'm living my life in this season, in this
Mhm.
40 plus season.
Right, yeah. I think that's dope. I think that I'm definitely gonna, put myself out there more and do stuff like that. I definitely wanna go to, like, an art gallery. I have to, like, really I need to stop talking about it and just look it up and pick a
Just do
day and
it,
go.
girl.
Yeah.
That's how I found some amazing galleries is by just Googling, like, art galleries near me or art museums near me, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for it and keep continuing to put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable, not unsafe, just
Yes,
uncomfortable.
that part.
Right. Just
Two different
uncomfortable
things.
because it's different, you know? So I would definitely keep doing that.
Um, but something that came to my mind too is, like, the safety piece, right? Because
Mhm.
especially, like, if you are single and a woman, you do have to be, like, mindful of where you're going and, like,
Right.
safety is a thing, and just having mace on you is important, and just, like, do things maybe, like, more during the day, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Or, like, go somewhere where like, "Okay, one of the restaurants I frequent is a place that I feel comfortable at,
Mhm.
feel safe at." So it's like, if I have, like, "Oh, let me go here because I know this area, I feel safe around here." So that's the other thing we gotta keep in mind because we are, out here living life and stuff, and we gotta be
Right.
safe.
Yeah, definitely be safe. So please share with us in the comments what makes you uncomfortable, what you have conquered that made you uncomfortable, and what you would like to do. Whether it's go out to eat by yourself, go to a random store by yourself, because people don't go to stores by themselves. They'll wait till somebody wants to go with them to go to the store. So, like anything, just share with us that information in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. I think it's a really good conversation, a really cool conversation.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and y'all can follow me at Deandra.Monique. You can follow the podcast at Coffee Hills _convo pod. Retha.
You can follow me at Read the Author. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also don't forget to rate and review the podcast on whatever listening platform that you listen on, because it does help us to become more discoverable so that other people can find us.
Mhm.
Also share, let your friends know. I like this podcast. You should listen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. Let us know.
Let it grow.
Keep us growing, please.
Yes.
And we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.